Jason here, one of the pastors of North Park Church in Columbus, Nebraska, and I'm very grateful to be bringing your life group lesson to you again for the week. And you're just going to have to disregard the Fearless banner that's behind me because we've taken a break for 1 week from that series, and we're going to talk a bit about Jehoshaphat today. What it looks like specifically in the Bible to handle things when you see the battle on the horizon. So just a bit of Jehoshaphat's story from the Old Testament today, and we're going to be in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verses 1 through 4. So you guys go ahead and open your Bibles to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verses 1 through 4. And before we get into the key verses that we're going to read, I'll just kind of bring you up to speed where we're at in the story here. Jehoshaphat is a good and godly king of the southern kingdom of Israel. At this point, we're in the period in history called the divided monarchy, where you have the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. And Jehoshaphat is the king of Judah at this point. And as I said, he's a good and godly king. Many kings weren't at this point. And Jehoshaphat is, at the point we're at in this story, where we're going to pick it up, he has implemented all kinds of reforms in Judah and even in Israel. He's appointed godly judges in Judah and in Israel. He's instructed them to fear the Lord and know that there's no injustice with the Lord. He has gone personally through the wilderness to turn people's hearts back to the God of their fathers, back to get them back on course, to turn them back to the true God, because they're worshiping all kinds of false gods and all kinds of idols at this point. So that's just a fraction of what Jehoshaphat's been up to. But the point is, what we need to know before we pick the story up here in 2 Chronicles is that Jehoshaphat is a godly guy. He's working hard, very sacrificially, putting life and limb on the line in order to follow God and to do His will. So now you guys go ahead and follow along with me as I read 2 Chronicles 20, verses 1 through 4. And after this, the Moabites and Ammonites, and with them some of the Meunites, came against Jehoshaphat for battle. Some men came and told Jehoshaphat, "A great multitude is coming against you from Edom and beyond the sea." From beyond the sea. And behold, they are in Hazazon Tamar, that is in Gedi. Then Jehoshaphat was afraid and set his face to seek the Lord, and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. And Judah assembled to seek help from the Lord. From all the cities of Judah they came to seek the Lord. So off the bat, bearing in mind what we just discussed about Jehoshaphat's godly reign thus far, what stands out to you about today's verses? Go ahead and talk about that now. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Obviously, Jehoshaphat had been working hard, and regardless of his efforts and successes, still finds himself on the brink of war with some nasty people. There's some really great examples of the way he handles things here. So we see that he was afraid, but that fear led him to really seek the Lord. He called a fast. His people fasted with him. So there's a lot going on that you can pull out of these verses. So to lead into question 2 here, we see how Jehoshaphat responds, his immediate response to this sudden impending battle that is looming on the horizon. So what is your immediate response to trouble? Maybe you can think of some catastrophic sort of trouble in the past, or maybe stuff that's just not so catastrophic, just the day-to-day stuff that just kind of wears away at you. But either way, pray about this, be willing to be honest, and what is your immediate response to impending trouble? Talk about that now. Okay, we see here that one of the things that Jehoshaphat clearly did was fast. We see that Jehoshaphat was afraid, and he set his face to seek the Lord and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. And that's all one thought there, one response. So part of really seeking the Lord for Jehoshaphat was to fast, and that's something that we can all learn a lot from. And a quick definition of fasting. Fasting is to abstain for a time from any regularly enjoyed good gift from God in order to have better fellowship with Him, to seek His direction, to seek His will. So in the Bible we see that fasting is quite often food, but it doesn't have to be food. It can be anything, any gift from God that is regularly enjoyed, that we put down for a time in order to help us get closer to Him and seek His will. So that being said, what is something that might be beneficial for you to fast from? Something that is not sin. God has given it to you to enjoy, and you do regularly, but has the potential to distract you or get in the way. Pray about that and talk about that now. Okay, and on to question 4. This is a two-parter here. We see in the text that Jehoshaphat seeks the Lord's help, but part of seeking the Lord's help is to seek the presence of the Lord. And obviously, you're not even going to know what to ask for if you're not aware of God's character. And in order to know God's character, you have to spend time with Him. You have to hang out. So we've got seeking the Lord, seeking His presence, and seeking His help. So question A, 4A, would you say that you genuinely seek the Lord's presence? Do you desire to spend time with Him? Do you talk with Him regularly? Do you meditate on His Word? And part B, would you say that you genuinely seek the Lord's help? Pray about that. Be willing to be honest. Talk about it now. Okay, question 5. Takeaway. Some application here. What is an impending battle in your life right now? And how can our key verses today apply to it? What are you taking away from these verses that you can apply to the impending battle that is on your doorstep right now? What is that battle? How can today's lesson help? That's it for this week. I'll be back with you next week.